So ever since I released this little sucker, my YouTube audience has essentially increased with 24 people, and it has gained 1,400 views, which is terrifying and brilliant at the same time. Thank you so much to everyone who watched that video, who liked the video, who commented on the video, who shared the video. Thank you so much, you have really made my day. In that video, I said that I would maybe or maybe not make a follow-up, where I explore the possibility that Libitina might be the protagonist of Project Libitina, as opposed to Yuri, which I was almost adamant I got right. That is what this video is for. Could Libitina be the protagonist of Project Libitina? If you are completely new to the channel and completely new to the game Doki Doki Literature Club, I recommend that you go and check out my other video on this, the part 1 you might say. Not because it needs views, no, I have that in plenty. No, because not much in this video is going to make a lot of sense unless you watch the other video for some context, so go and check it out now and come back to this later. Please. Roll intro. I have a suspicion that there was probably a good few people out there who didn't check out the other video after I told them to. Dave. I'm just kidding, I don't know if your name is Dave. But okay then, for the people who didn't check out the other video, here is a quick sum up. The theory stands like this. Yuri is the protagonist of Project Libitina. Yuri and Libitina are sisters, and Yuri is 2 years older than Libitina. When Yuri and Libitina were 3 and 5, they both lived in a human experiment prison camp, but Yuri somehow managed to escape and live a somewhat normal life. It was around this time that Alyssa was killed by the employees for unknown reasons. When Yuri is 18 and Libitina 16, Libitina also escapes and moves in with Yuri. Then, for some reason, they both get targeted by escaped people from the human experiment prison camp, whatever targeted means. There are 2 endings to the game. The bad one, where Natsuki, Sayuri, Monika and Yuri, which I all assume are characters in the game, travel through universes or games and all end up in the game of Doki Doki Literature Club. And the good one, where they don't travel to the world of Doki Doki and presumably some of them die. But it's better than them experiencing Doki Doki, apparently. Cheers. Let's get down to it. So, as I've said many times now, in my first video I said that Yuri is the protagonist of Project Libitina, and I stand by that. I deduce that because the main character in Doki Doki Literature Club, the person we play as, says that the character in the book Portrait of Markov was very similar to Yuri personality-wise. But what if my deduction was wrong? What if the main character of Project Libitina just has a very similar personality to Yuri and it's someone else? Well, it can't be any of the girls in Doki Doki if it's not Yuri, because, well, they don't have similar personality to Yuri. So it would have to be either Libitina or Alyssa. I'm going to stand my ground here and say that Alyssa still died, meaning that the only other person it can be, the only other person who can be the protagonist of Project Libitina is Libitina. Before I get further immersed into the theory, this alternative hypothesis thing, I want to say I don't necessarily believe in it myself. I know, shocking. It's just that having 2 different characters, or having 2 characters in the same game with the same personalities, I can't see that being particularly good for the story, and Dan Salvato is sort of known for his story, you know? So yeah, no, I don't see this being true. I wanted to share with you guys, because the more and more I thought about it, the more interesting conclusions I came to, and so many people subscribed after that other video. I'm afraid to let you guys down, sort of peer pressured myself. I don't know, it's just a thought. Moving on. Back on track. So, Libitina is the protagonist. Where did that put us? Well, now I want to take the letter, with capital L, into perspective. Did Libitina write the letter? Is she gonna be the effing hero? Well, I have a thought that may or may not be correct, but if it is correct, oh, it changes our perspective of the game drastically. If you read the last bit of the letter 200-300 times, you start to understand that the person who writes this letter wants to go back and to change something, and that will be our task in the next game. Perhaps, maybe, this author of this letter and the protagonist of Project Libitina are two different people. I was thinking that maybe the author of the letter isn't necessarily the protagonist, but just a by-character, but that by-character is going to help us to achieve the happy ending in Project Libitina by manipulating the files, a bit like Monica affected the ending of DDLC, except we would have to do a lot more work, I'm assuming. Maybe. Perhaps. She might do this by, for example, dropping files in the game files and communicating us through the game files, telling us what to do. And only if you actually look in the files, you will find out how you can, solve the whole thing. I mean, think about it. When we play the game, we are going to be hearing the thoughts and the ideas of the protagonist. And if those thoughts and ideas are just, I have to say the others, it's going to be a pretty boring game. Like, the protagonist have to be ignorant in order for us to have a good experience, and it would just be bad storytelling otherwise. Okay, Mr. Bowtie, who is actually the author of the letter? Do you have any idea? No. But I know who it might be, and I know who it definitely won't be. It is not going to be Monica. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The author of the letter doesn't know us and is not aware of what Monica has done in the DDLC. Or she's aware now, but she wasn't aware when it happened. She wasn't aware that we were watching, and she wasn't aware that it was all just a game until recently. Monica knows all of this. So, no, it's not going to be Monica. Sorry. It is not going to be Alyssa, Libitina, or Enya. It must be a character that participated in Doki Doki Literature Club. The author of the letter says, quote, I know this isn't my only story, meaning that the author of the letter participated in Doki Doki. She was a character. I have considered the argument that main character, or MC, might be the author of the letter. And I have to say, no. I do not believe that is the way Dan Salvato intends to go with Project Libitina. MC wasn't a real character. He was just a blank sheet for us to project ourselves onto. He doesn't have a name. Liking anime, manga, and cute girls isn't a fleshed out personality enough to be a character on its own in another game. Unless you play as him, of course, but I mean, the main character is a girl. Yuri said so herself. So, no, I do not believe that main character is the author of the letter. But I do have solid evidence that he isn't the author, other than just a feeling, In the letter, the author was almost about to reveal their own name. This close. But they stopped, because we obviously already know their name. But there's a problem with that. Main character doesn't have a name. We name main character. He doesn't have a name to reveal, unless it's, of course, that name we gave him that he was about to reveal. I am also going to roll out Sayori as an option here. At the end of Doki Doki Literature Club, regardless of which ending, she becomes self-aware, just like Monica, and she seems to think she knows us pretty well. She knows everything Monica did, she knows everything that happened, and she is self-aware. Here we run into the same problem as we did with Monica. The author doesn't know us, Monica knows us, thus they can't be the same person. The author doesn't know us, Sayori doesn't know us, thus they can't be the same person. That leaves us with only two people. Let's see if I get this right now. Natsuki and Yuri. After reading the letter a few hundred times more, I must admit defeat and say, I don't know. Like, it could be either of them. There is no evidence to support either of them, but there is no evidence to disprove them neither. Now, okay, so let's say that this whole Libitina being the protagonist thing is incorrect, and I was right in the first place. Yuri is the protagonist, which I personally believe. Well, the whole someone pulling the strings behind the curtains concept could still work out. If Yuri is the protag, then the only person left to be the omnipotent bi-character is Natsuki, and I predict a tiny bit of conflict between those two characters, like us and Natsuki. Perhaps we don't trust her at first, or like we don't get along very well, but like that Tsundere and Natsuki is, she helps us out anyways, because of love. But remember, it's all just a theory. A game! I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that. But seriously though, I did a lot of speculation in this video. It was more of a what if video, as opposed to my initial only if the clues say so policy. Do I necessarily believe what I said in this video? No, but that wasn't the point either. The point was to just take a moment and dream away to a world of magic and cookies or something. And I'd say we have hit that goal pretty hard. Magic and cookies? What? So, other than the letter, Libitina being the protagonist didn't really change much of my initial theory. It still all sort of works out. But what did you have to say? In the last video, I said that you guys could post your speculations, your corrections, your own theories in the comment section, and you did in the plenty. Here are my favourites. Spicer Freeman, if I pronounced that correctly, says a lot. But to sum it up, Libitina and Elissa are one person, Elissa being her real name and Libitina being her name after perhaps the people at the Human Experiment prison camp turned her crazy or something. I like that idea a lot. Elissa and Libitina being the same person fixes the fact that, well, killing of Elissa that early wouldn't make any sense. Also, it doesn't change much about my current standing theory, apart from like Elissa and Libitina being two different people. So, I mean, you can't really prove nor disprove it, so it's more like a hypothesis or a speculation. But I like the idea. Good comment. Good work. I Scream says that the next game is going to feature realistic people as opposed to anime, because realistic hands and eyes are all over the place in DDLC, and that gameplay manipulation is not going to be a part of the gameplay of the next game, because it would have to be more groundbreaking than DDLC. No. The next game is going to be anime, and we know this because the only picture we have been given so far of the next game features Libitina, drawn in anime style. Or we're assuming it's Libitina. I'm assuming it's a Libitina. Again, it's a speculation. I could see it happening, but probably not. Second point, if you consider that one of the characters might be self-aware in the next game and is helping you to achieve the happy ending through game file manipulation by communicating to you by dropping files or something in the game files, would that be meta enough? Would that be groundbreaking enough? I don't know. Your comment. Good comment. Moving on. CreepyD246 says that it's been said that Dan confirmed a second game, but it's not going to be DDLC related, which is sad because I love the game. Sad face. But who knows? Maybe he might have just said that to trick people or something. IDK. I have heard that rumor too, but I'm actually yet to find a proper good source of Dan Salvato actually saying that. I mean, I've heard people on the internet claiming he said it, but I haven't actually heard him say it. Or in digital form at least. So if you have a video or something, or a tweet or a link or something, I don't know, link it down in the description. I'll pin the comments. I think there's zero chance to this next game not being at least remotely linked to DDLC in some way, because of all of these Easter eggs and mentions of the third eye. Like, he can't just have... They must have some sort of explanation. Dan Salvato can't just have randomly put them in there just to troll us, right? 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 I'll tell you what though, If Dan Salvato just created these Easter eggs in order to confuse theorists like myself, well, A, that would be the biggest "it's just a prank bro" in history, exceeding PewDiePie's deleting my channel at 50 million prank. And B, if Dan Salvato doesn't deliver at the end of 2018, I'll give him another year. But if he still doesn't deliver at 2019, I'll make the game myself. I'm serious, I'll make the freaking game myself. I swear to God, I'll make the goddamn game myself. That's a promise to you. Apprentice of Windy Neptune, which is an awesome name, by the way, says that Sayori and Natsuki aren't really mentioned in Project Libitina, so perhaps just like in DDLC, where we have the choice of choosing who to show our poem to first, we'll have to choose who to trust, as Yuri mentions. I love this. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Yes, yes, yes. You, sir or madam, are a super nerd. Hopefully that looked better on camera than it did in my head. It probably didn't. I tried to imitate Kyle Hill. He's a cool guy. You should check him out. Now, after I published my other DDLC theory, the part 1 of this video, a lot of people subscribed, which is great, but also worrying. I don't want an audience that isn't invested in what I create and what I publish. I won't do any more DDLC related content on this channel until the next game is out, of course. So, if you just subscribed for the part 2, well, you can go ahead, you have my blessing to unsubscribe. Go ahead. Of course, unless you want to, I don't know, check out the other content I have. Maybe I'll make something in the future that might interest you. Who knows? Yeah. Anyways, unsubscribe if you want to. Go ahead. Also, guys, what do you think of this setup? What, like sitting down in front of my desk? What do you think of it? Something to think of as permanent? I must say it's a bit more relaxing than standing over there and standing upright in front of a camera. It's a bit more relaxing. Just sit back and talk to you guys, you know. I won't have to clean up here though. And also I can't make any sudden movements on the table because if else it disturbs the camera, like. But yeah, I can change some stuff if you guys want to. No, if I want to. I don't care what you think. Crazy. Don't forget to vote for your favorite element in the monthly element contest down in the comment section. Who knows, maybe your favorite element will be the next element of the month. I don't really have enough views to be sponsored by anyone or anything, which is why you guys can trust me when I say I really think and genuinely think that you are going to enjoy this app called Amino. It's a type of social media app where you can talk about your favorite fandoms and join different aminos for different fandoms, as we call them, different communities, where you can talk to other people who have those interests, who are equally as interested in it as you, or maybe even more. I've joined a handful of aminos over the last couple of months, but the one I want to promote in this video is a tiny little amino called Theory Time. In this amino, we share our own fan theories. And, well, it's fun. I'm active there all the time, but we only have like 15 or 17 members. So, we're sort of struggling, and I must admit, it's a tiny bit dead at the moment. But the only thing that can solve a dead amino, or a dead community in general, is active members. You can join us at this amino idea. Thanks for watching.